private and public partnerships and digital tools and online and offline visibility. So on the platform on ecomConnect.org, you will find very useful tools for your online business. Like so, it's a community engagement platform. There is an e-commerce readiness quiz available, an e-commerce cost calculator, an Africa Marketplace Explorer. But I believe that we already introduced you to the platform. So let's have a quick look at the agenda today. So we will start with an introduction about digital marketing. So we will see what are the type of digital marketing. We'll talk buyer persona, then content marketing planning. Then we'll continue with talking about the content from a marketing and SEO perspective. We'll try to understand how to do a keyword optimization, homepage optimization, how to create a good about us, how to manage, how to create a blog, footer optimization, photo optimization, meta title and meta description optimization, and headings optimization. So this is the agenda for today. So I let now Christina.
So before we start, we wanted to launch a quick poll here on Zoom so that we can test your knowledge before and after this training, and you can really see if you have learned in this webinar, which is what we want to achieve. So let me launch the poll. It's very quick. You have 6 questions. And you just have to say yes or no to these questions. It's all about the content we are going to see today. So the first one, do you know how to create a buyer persona? If you have a clear buyer persona for your business or more than one. Still no one voted. Are you there?
Do you see the poll? I can see it.
Yeah, there we have some. Okay.
Yeah, we're starting to get some answer.
Perfect. Okay. Let's give a few more seconds. We're getting more participants. Okay. So let's share the results. So far, yeah, the majority of you don't know how to create a buyer persona. That's great because we're going to learn it today, and then we'll give you also a workbook where you will put that into practice. Sorry, the majority know how to do it, but some don't. And you don't, even if you know it, you don't have it determined. So that's great because we'll work on that today. We'll also teach you how to create a content marketing plan. And we'll go through all the different digital marketing techniques and also see how to do keyword research, which is going to be very helpful because the majority of you don't know how to do that yet. Okay, that's interesting. Perfect. So
yeah, and let's just have sorry, Christina.
Oh, no.
So yes, and after the webinar tomorrow, by end of the week, we will be sending you these workbooks. You will have to work on. There will be a few exercises. these exercises are to help you to really start practicing everything that you will learn today and tomorrow. So you will be able to do it straight away on your website, or at least on the workbook, and we will be able to review this workbook. And of course, during the next 2-3 weeks, when you will be working on the workbook, I will be available for for questions, for guidance. So yeah, this, I think it will be a good starting point for you to implement these best practices. So yes, I let Christina now.
Yes, so the first thing that we're going to see today is an introduction to digital marketing. Of course, you all know what digital marketing is about, but what we want to find out and make clear is why digital marketing is important. Here, we would like to hear from you. So if you can unmute yourself and tell us why you think digital marketing is important, why you are here today attending this training. I guess it's because you all think it's important, but why? Could you give us some reasons? No.
Okay, I don't feel like we have a group yeah. Please don't be shy and turn on your microphone if you feel like you have the answer.
Yeah, we have great teams behind the screens, so you can unmute yourself, okay, whenever you want. Okay, well, yes,
hello. Good morning. Hi, Christina and Joanna.
Hello.
Good morning.
I am William, Sinyafuza William from Smart Farming. I think digital marketing is important because there is a lot of huge numbers on digital channels, huge numbers of audience that as a business we would like to tap into and improve ourselves. And that's basically why we are here, trying to figure out how do we reach those people who are on those digital channels. How can we best reach them?
Exactly, that's totally correct. That's, like, I would say, the main reason why digital marketing is important. There is so much content out there, so many customers out there, that you really need to work on techniques that that raise awareness of what you do. And of course, there are many other reasons, right? Like digital marketing is important because it allows us to reach a global audience, not just an audience offline. So we can reach out to any country in the world, basically. And there are many other reasons. For instance, it allows us to have a lot of information about the visitors, potential customers, or our active customers, and be able to track their information and create better products, better services for all of them. So yeah, there William was totally right. Now online customers have unlimited choice online, and we need a way to grab their attention, and that's why digital marketing comes into place. But before going into digital marketing, what we need to have clear is that we also need good quality content, because personal contact is limited. We really need to foster business relationships that are true, that we as business owners, we provide trust to all our customers, and this is done through a good digital content. And then we have, of course, our online channels to be able to display all this digital content, and the digital marketing technique. Dean, I don't know if you want to say something, or
I think you already mentioned the three key issues in regards to why we're going digital. And or let's say, from the time COVID popped in, we realized that a lot of activities had actually moved online, and that's why even today we're having an online sort of presentation in terms of a follow-up to what we've been doing. It allows us to, like you mentioned, it's global reach, allows us to communicate with different parts of the world at almost the same time.
Yeah.
And the most important that I found is the ability to track your users and your visitors on your different platforms in order to tailor suit you.
Yeah, exactly. It's always like a matter of like receiving this information, tracking it, and then testing, implementing different techniques and see what works. But thanks to this tracking, we can do that. So yeah, that's a very valid point. And also the other day I was speaking with an entrepreneur she's from Costa Rica, and she was mentioning that thanks to her online presence and thanks to the different like marketing techniques she had implemented last year. For example, she worked with an influencer and she did some paid advertisement for her business. She was able to sell because she said that all her sales came from her online presence, not from like offline channels last year. So definitely this is like not something there that's important. It's something necessary for all businesses. So thanks, Dean, for mentioning that. I don't know if in the chat, Joanna, do you know, could you tell me if we have other comments on the chat? Because I see the window popping.
Yeah, it's we don't have like a real question there, but
Okay.
yeah, everything is fine. I will tell you.
Okay, great.
Okay, don't worry.
Perfect. Okay, so let's continue. So regarding content, well, as you know, when we talk about content, it's not just a text, it's also visuals. It's these photographs, good quality photographs you have in your website, or logos. And when we talk about content, we also talk about two different types of content. We talk about product or business content and company content. We went through this during the digital audits we conducted previously, and we explained you the importance of having these two types of contents. But this content needs to comply with all these requirements. So we need a content that's complete. That means that we need to have detailed descriptions that are both technical but also assertive. So that takes us to a second requirement, which is that our content needs to be attractive. It needs to like make our visitors convey into an action. We also need to have a true content, content that really highlights the true characteristics of our services. And we need a content that's visual, that for instance, through high quality photos, very good videos, explanatory videos of what we do and how the product really looks like, because we want to generate this trust and avoid other issues that could happen later. So it's not enough to have good content, and it's not enough to have an online presence. So you can have your website, you can have your marketplace store, and you can have amazing photos and amazing videos, but you will not be able to drive traffic unless you generate this trust and you adopt digital marketing techniques. So it's like a journey, right? It's like first you have to create your content, then upload that into your online channel and improve your online channel, and then work on these digital marketing techniques. And if everything complies with these four these 4 elements we mentioned before, you will be able to generate trust and convert these visitors into customers. So going back to our question before, so why is digital marketing important, and what's the objective of digital marketing? This is important because it's unlikely that anyone will know you exist unless you work on these techniques. So apart from generating trust, digital marketing is about reaching the right audience, engaging with your audience, and motivating your audience to take action. So these are, in general, the 3 main objectives of digital marketing. And now we're going to have a look at the types of digital marketing and also the different sources of traffic, because it's important to understand where the traffic comes from, because that will allow us to see which digital marketing techniques to apply to our business. So we have paid traffic, direct traffic, reference traffic, traffic through emails, social media, and search engine traffic. Let's have a look at each of them and how this traffic is generated. So to start with, we have search traffic, which is, let's say, the main one. It's, imagine that visitors go to Google. They don't know your brand, but they want to look for, I don't know, some of you, for example, offer digital marketing services. So they type digital marketing service Uganda and they will find you. So it's these visitors that discover your website through search engines. And then we have social media traffic. So it's traffic that comes, as you can imagine, from your social media. So normally a person follows you on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then sees your post. You have a link, you have a call to action, they click on the link, and then that drives traffic to your website. Then we have referral traffic. So this refers to traffic that comes from, for example, a blog where there is a link to your website, and then visitors click on the link and go to your website. Then we have email traffic. This is quite clear. You receive an email campaign and there's a click to your website. They click, they go there. Then we have direct traffic. So this is when a visitor arrives directly onto your website without having clicked on a link. This means that the visitor already knows about your URL and they type it on the browser and go directly to it. This could come from not only, like, for instance, because they knew you before, or word of mouth, or also because you invested in other offline techniques, marketing techniques. For example, I don't know, a street advertisement where there is the URL displayed to your website, and they see it and then they look for you directly on the browser. Then we have paid traffic. So this is visitors that arrive to your website because they have seen an advertisement, and they click on the banner, on the small video showing who you are, and they go to your website. So it's important to understand this, because this will allow us to implement different techniques and optimize each of them later. And we have seen the traffic, now we see the techniques. So we have SEO, so search engine optimization, content marketing, display marketing or advertising, social media, email marketing, and pay-per-click. We'll have a look at all these techniques in a bit, but before that, what you need to know as a small business is that it's impossible to be present in all these channels that we were seeing previously. You need to be mindful of your resources, not only money resources, but also time and human resources. So always taking into account this triangle of resources. And depending on that, select the different channels that work better for you and that you can devote time, money, and human resources. So it's important that you identified which have the best return on investment for you and concentrate on that. So it's not worth it, for instance, if you choose being on social media, which is a must right now. You don't need to be in all the channels, but really focus on the ones that your potential customer use. And before that as well, you will also need to make sure that your online channel works. So your website works, that your marketing message is clearly stated. So your mission, vision, and values are clear for everyone and for yourself as well, because all the messages you will develop later will need to be linked and be consistent to this message. Then you'll have to identify your audience, set up who your buyer persona is, and we'll have a look at this later, and write down your objectives. And after the objectives you want to reach, you have to write down an indicator for each of them that allows you to measure if that objective has been reached or not. And also set up a tracking tool. So either Google Analytics or any other paid tool that you want. And also the social media analytics and other online tools, like for instance, SEMrush or Ubersuggest, that allow you to track how your platform is working. And now let's explore a bit into the different digital marketing techniques. Feel free to ask questions in the chat if you have any, or unmute yourself.
Christina, there is one.
Yeah,
so
John.
Yeah, so Wilson from Clinic Master is asking that what's the best way to measure the different sources? So say somebody can first search for your product and after get your social media channel to reach out to you. So what channel would they consider for that case?
Yes, so here I would suggest two channels. So one would be setting up Google Analytics and linking that to your social media presence, because that will allow you to see what is driving traffic to your website, if that channel is really working. And if you have different social media channels, which one is driving most of the traffic, and then concentrate the efforts there. But also you can see the number of views, clicks, impressions on the social media tool that you use. They also have a tracking and analytics system implemented where you can track all this info as well and see what's working and what's not. And you also have other paid tools out there, but this would be mainly the two I would suggest. Also, regarding this issue, we will have a workshop in May, which will be more focused on analytics, and we'll be able to really go deep into these topics and understand how to do it in a very practical way. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think so. Wilson, okay. Is that okay?
Yes, it's fine. Thank you very much.
Great. Welcome. Great. So now let's have a look at all these 6 digital marketing techniques I mentioned before. Some of you might be aware of all of them for sure, but it's good that we see a bit what each of them takes, because we need to understand where to put our efforts. So the first one, and the one we'll be talking during the day, is SEO, so search engine optimization. And this is a marketing technique focused on growing organically. This means that we don't pay for growing our traffic in the search results. So this could be both. So this could be a matter of mixing technical elements, but also creative elements. So SEO, it's not only about making search engines understand what you're selling. So for example, optimizing keywords or optimizing your sitemap of the website, but also increasing the look and feel of your site for customers. So for instance, how the website is organized in a more clear way for customers, that photos are visually attractive, and so on. Then we have content marketing, which is another technique that it's focused on creating valuable, relevant, and consistent content that attracts the audience and that makes them take action, the action we desire. So buy, download a guide, or different actions. And this content marketing involves educational articles, ebooks, videos, podcasts, which are right now very, very trendy, webinars or Q&A sessions that you can organize to provide people with more value than just your services or products. So they really need to see that you are differentiating from your competitors and that you're offering something they don't have. And then we have email marketing, which is still one of the most useful marketing techniques. We are kind of tired of all this email booming that we have, because we're receiving tens and tens of emails right now, but still it's the most useful channel to turn prospects into buyers. So still, I mean, you have to use this channel. You have to use it obviously in a good way to inform customers about something new that you have done, to I don't know, share maybe a newsletter every week or every month about your products, to tell them about a new product that you've created. That's still really, really important. And then we have the pay-per-click, which is a paid technique. And it means that every time a visitor clicks on an advertisement of your product, you will have to pay for that click. And it's one of the most popular paid techniques, because it allows you to just pay as you go, as other visitors click for your business. But you will only be able to select and implement this technique if you really have the resources to do this. So be mindful again of your money resources. Then we have social media marketing. So you all know about this. Here I wanted to launch just another quick poll to see which social media channels are more popular for you. We have an idea because we've conducted this digital marketing audits, but of course it's always interesting to see that again. So please click on the channels. So we put the main ones: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. But it's gonna be interesting if you also use other social media, maybe local social media or other social media that we have not spotted there through the digital audits. But it looks like, yeah, everyone is using the 4 that we wrote down. Okay, perfect. So the most active for you, it's Facebook and Twitter, which makes sense, especially Twitter. Well, Facebook, everyone is on Facebook, but Twitter, it's really important for the kind of businesses you're dealing with. This tech service startups, they need to be on Twitter, because you need to show that you know about the latest news and that you are up to date with all the innovations out there, and Twitter is a good channel to show that. Let me share the results with you. We also have LinkedIn, very important because you're offering services not only to the customer, but also to businesses. And LinkedIn is a great channel for B2B. Instagram, yeah, we also notice this. It's not a very popular social media within the businesses today, which makes sense. I mean, it's good to have it, but if you have resources to manage that, I would not say it's the main social media for the businesses. And there is a company that clicked on other. Could you let us know who this company is and which social media channel you are using? It would be interesting to share this with everyone.
Probably YouTube, maybe?
Yeah.
No?
Probably.
No? We don't have the answer.
Well,
okay.
It could be YouTube. Yeah, some of you were using YouTube, which makes sense because you want to save also your tutorials or commercial videos there and drive traffic through this channel. In fact, YouTube is the second most used channel to search for information. We have Google and then we have YouTube. So it's important that we are also there if we have the resources. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. And to finish this part with, we have video marketing or display marketing, which is a strategy that uses video or images to engage with your customers. And this video or display marketing can be used in paid campaigns, social media, content marketing, and it's great to generate trust. Obviously, if again it's correct and it's trustworthy. And this is very important right now because it enables you to be more creative and be more attractive to the potential customers. Yeah. So trends in 2021. This year, digital marketing is more than ever. It's so important that you also need to be aware of the different trends this year. One is chatbots. So you need to provide instant help to your customers. Now, it's not just necessary to have a frequently asked questions page. You also need this chatbot to answer quickly to the questions. And then we also have well, faster mobile webs. We really need to work on making these webs mobile responsive. This is not the case of all the businesses here, and you will see that on the audits. We also need to work on video marketing. This was the last technique I was talking about, but yeah, you need to really incorporate this because, well, we've seen some statistics, and you all know about HubSpot, which is a digital marketing website that informs a lot about the different digital marketing techniques. And they mentioned that video marketing has boosted the click-through rate by 300%. So it's really important to have this. They mentioned that in their landing pages, in the different websites that they have analyzed, if you have a video in the landing page, it can increase the conversion rate by 80%. So it's really important to have these videos to create attention and drive traffic. And videos can be not only about your business and your story, but also like a video blog, which is called vlog right now with V. And it allows you to be able to explain what your service product is and how it works. You can also do interviews, presentations, demos, like a lot of things out there. Then we also have virtual reality, which of course this needs more money resources, but many companies are using this to really provide these virtual experiences. This could be very good for tourism companies and companies offering these experiences. We also have influencers marketing, we in other projects we have at ITC, we have seen that this is even more useful than a paid advertisement. But again, it depends on your target segment. But it has been like our businesses, for instance, in the handmade sector, have got more sales through influencers than through Facebook or Instagram ads. And then we have voice research, which is the ability to search results without having to type, just by using your voice system. And this is creating also a lot of voice optimization out there. And we are, as customers, we are becoming, let's say, more lazy to type information we're looking for, and we are more and more using the voice research function. So you need to be aware of this and really work around this to be up to date and decide which works better for you. And now let's start getting a bit more information about SEO. So as we were mentioning before, search engine optimization is a process to make your website more searchable through organic search. So that means without paying. And this can be done through content, through UI UX, and through technical. UI UX refers to user interface and user experience. So it's like how our page looks like and how we interact with it. So how it really, the level of user friendly of this page. And then we have all these technical elements. So there are many aspects of SEO that we have to look into it. So the words from your page, the way that your links look like, but also the way it looks for customers. The most popular search engine is Google. Around 92-93% of the search traffic is conducted there. And that's why it's so important to understand how Google works. But here on this slide, you also have other search engines that are used, like Bing, Yahoo, Baidu in China. And it's important to understand the algorithms of all of this to be able to optimize all of them. And how important is search traffic, and why it's important to understand SEO? Well, because there are billions of searches out there. People are constantly going on Google and searching stuff. So we need to really see here that it's very important to be able to optimize our online presence to appear there. But of course, this process of optimization, it's a constant process. It's not just a one-time action. We need to do it constantly to be able to position in the first pages of the search results. I mean, the goal would be to appear on the first page, but of course, there's a lot of competition there, and you need to work constantly on this. And this graphic is it's interesting because here we can see the importance of being on the first pages of Google. As you can see here, the click-through rate, if you are on the first page of Google, it's let's say of 35. But then if we go to like the fifth position, will be reduced a lot in like like 3 times the click-through rate. So it's very important to be on the first positions, because you can generate even like 5 more times traffic if you are there than if you are in the 5th, 6th, 7th position. And now we're going to start with the buyer persona. Again, if you have questions, don't hesitate to stop me. It's always good to share things at the moment. The buyer persona. So one of the best ways to create content and plan all these promotional campaigns that will engage your target audience is by creating a buyer persona. But what is a buyer persona? Well, it's basically a profile that represents your ideal customer. So when you create your buyer persona, you will gain the ability to tailor all the marketing efforts you put and connect with your target audience. So what do you have to do here? You have to do your research. You have to find out who the buyer persona is through like market research, different surveys, interviews of your target audience, and contact really everyone to be able to create this buyer persona. Because after all, when you create your product, your service, and your website, you have an idea of who this buyer persona is, but you need really to search if that's the correct one and see how to implement these digital marketing efforts. If we take this from a very basic level, personas will allow you to personalize your target to your campaigns, and also target your marketing to different audiences, because you can always use different channels for different audiences and different techniques for these different channels. So when you create a persona and when you put this into practice later in the workbook, you can create one persona, two personas, or 4 personas, the number you want. Normally we suggest creating 2, but like businesses, I mean, if you want to have a complete overview of this, you should create up to 4 personas, because, well, there have been some reports that say that with the 4 personas that you create, you will be able to target all your customers. So of course this takes time, but if you define from the beginning your target audience, you will really optimize your digital marketing efforts later. And that's the importance of having these personas. And how do you create a persona? On this slide, we will share with you later so that you can go bit by bit through this. But on this slide, we have put some practical methods that will help you create your persona. So for instance, you can interview your customers, either in person, on the phone, and see how they feel about your product, about your service. You can send them an email after purchasing your service so that they provide you with feedback. You can also look at what your competitors are doing and with their customers, and see how they are interacting online with them, to see how your persona reacts. And you can also check your site analytics. This will give you a lot of information. Of course, here you will have demographic information, also gender, age, where your customers come from, also the time and days that they are buying more often, to be able to target and customize your campaigns later. Another way to find information about your buyer persona is to go through your contacts database and uncover trends about how customers found your content, how they reacted to the different content you were showing. If for example, your website, you add a contact form, you can also use a field that can capture all the information from your visitors. So for instance, where they come from, their age, or their travels, because that will help you also look for the travels your personas are suffering and the way you can overcome this necessity they have. And of course, ask for feedback. What I was mentioning before when interviewing the customers, you can also do this through a feedback form, an email, or on social media to get to understand what they do. And when you develop your buyer persona, you will have to think about a different number of questions. So what is the persona name? that's very important, because what we want is to humanize the marketing efforts. We want to really give a name to the persona, to imagine clearly who this person is, then what the age of this person is, the gender, also their job, their salary, their household income, where they are located, the level of education, the family size. This is all important because our messages will convey in a different way depending on all of these characteristics. Then the job title, how, like, what a day looks like in, you know, their life, essential information about their company, their different pain points, their challenges, what they want to achieve, their goals, how you will help them do this. Also their main personal values, and they're going a bit more, you know, more into your products or services. So what they would really like about your products and how you could improve them. So this is really important to be able to elaborate your marketing message at a later stage. And here we put an example, because what we have seen until now, it's a bit theoretical, and all these points are better explained through an example. So here we have the example of Samia. Samia is our buyer persona. We decided to choose this name and the profile of a woman in this case. And the first thing that we need to do is to check the background of this person. So Samia is the head of human resources in a company. She has worked for this company for 10 years, and she has worked from the beginning, from a lower point. She has really grown, and she has been promoted to become the head of human resources. And in her personal life, she's a married woman with 2 children who are young. And so she's between 30, 45 years old. She has this $20,000 income, and she lives in the outskirts of the city. She's also like quite calm. She has people helping her in her daily work, and she likes to receive, you know, it's important that here you add information about her communication preferences. So she likes to have printed information or emailing information there. And yeah, so her goals, that's the next step we need to focus on. So she loves, as the head of human resources, she loves to keep her employees happy. She also loves to support legal and finance teams, because they are the teams in her business that really need her support. And she's having some challenges here, because they're not a lot in the company. So getting everything done is a nightmare. And I guess that some of you will also sympathize with her, because you are all small companies, and sometimes it's really hard to get everything done. And what can we do as a company? So how can we solve the issues that Samia has? How can we help her achieve her goals and overcome her challenges? So what we want to offer her is a technology that makes it easier to manage all employee data in one place, and integrate also the data with the legal and finance teams. It's also important that you make up real quotes. You can gather this through the interviews and feedback forms we were seeing before. But for instance, here we imagine Samia saying that it has been really difficult for her company to adopt new technologies. She doesn't have time to train employees on the thousands of databases out there. And she's worried that all data is transitioned to a new system, and she doesn't want to train the whole company on how to use a new system. So we need to be aware of all these challenges and all these objections to offer the best service as possible. And our marketing message will describe the solution to our persona. So our message in this case will say, we offer an integrated human resources database management solution that will help you overcome the challenges of having a lot of data spread out into one single place that could be accessed by everyone. And as an let's say as a differentiating factor, we could also say that you offer training webinars or training live courses to teach all the workers at the company to do this instead of her being the one doing so. And to end up this buyer persona exercise, you will have to create an elevator pitch where you sell this message. So here, what we have said is, we give you an intuitive database that integrates with your existing software and platform, and lifetime training to help new employees get up to speed quickly. So it's clear, it's short, it's concise, and it really covers all the pain points of our persona.
There is a question from Clinic Master. Yeah. So for B2B, where persona is company, can we also quickly loop through similar variation of questions, what we want to know about that persona? And just before Christina answer, you know, behind the company, there is always someone. So I let you answer the rest.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, this example we went through could be applied to a business, because it's Samia, but who works in her business, and she has a business necessity. So obviously this can be applied to B2B companies, not just B2C. And as Joanna mentioned, there's always a person with necessities. The necessities are linked in this case to a business. So yeah.
Yeah, so basically when you want to sell your services or your product to a company, you need to understand who you will be targeting in that company. Is it, you know, the sales manager, or is it you know, a different person in the team? So you still have like a real person. You need to create your buyer persona and understand, you know, who you will target, even if it's if you are doing B2B.
Yeah, exactly. And there is this online tool that we really like, because it's very simple to use and it helps you create your persona. It's called Make My Persona. You see the link here, and it's developed by HubSpot, and it's super easy to use. So you name your persona, you pick your avatar, and then it will ask you different questions to build your perfect persona. And then you can have like a cheat sheet, you know, with the information from this persona. So we really encourage you to use this. You can use it and, you know, then do a screenshot and put it on the workbook. We'll do later, or you can do it directly on the workbook, writing down the characteristics of your persona. And of course, use it for either if you're a B2C or B2B business. Okay, any other question at this point before we get into the next bit? I don't think so, no?
No question.
Okay, perfect. So before going more into details into SEO, we'll have a look into content marketing planning. I was surprised by this number, because I read the other day that 63% of businesses don't have a content marketing strategy, and yeah, that's, you know, that's an issue, because you have a lot of content, but you don't know how to show it, how to have a good strategy that drives traffic to your website, and it's a very high percentage. But also in this article, it said that most of the businesses, more than 60%, did not know how to build a content strategy. And they said that that was one of their greatest needs, because yes, they have content, but the strategy is not there. So it's important to create this content marketing plan. And there are a number of steps that you should take into account to create it. So one first step is to set your mission, vision, and goals. So here you need to develop the marketing statement that helps you focus on what's important. So this message should have your target audience, the content you will use to reach them, and the benefit your audience will get. So for example, you can say, we provide small businesses with finance, with webinars and tools on finance to help them optimize their expenditures, for example. And your message is clear, it targets an audience, and it sets up the goals. Apart from the goals, you'll have to establish your KPIs, so your key performance indicators. And you have to do it through a way that's easy and measurable for you to measure the impact of your marketing strategy. So some examples of KPIs that you could take into account. So for instance, achieving a certain revenue target, get more signups, get a certain number of email subscribers, increase the traffic in your site. On social media, like get a number of share posts or mentions on social media. So there's a lot of KPIs that you can think about. The second step is knowing your audience. We mentioned before, it's important to be clear who your audience is, and that's why it's important to have this buyer persona, because you need to create the right content for each of them. You need to collect the demographic data, get customer feedbacks, and create this perfect audience for your business. Assess your current position. Why is this important? Because all of you already have content there. And for example, some of you have articles, you have a blog, you have social media content, videos, and you need to figure out what content is helping you meet your goals. Because some of your content, I'm sure it's really working, some is not, but you need to know which one is working. And from the one that's not working, how could you improve that? Because you can always reuse it and modify and improve it. This is super important. Which is the best content, the best channels for your content?
There's just a question about, because you are talking KPI. Mm-hmm. How about number of followers on your social media channel as a KPI? Should we pay attention to it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you will have to. I mean, it's important also to have this number as a KPI. Like for instance, if you open, I don't know, let's say a Twitter account, and you've created a marketing plan for Twitter based on more like news stuff, more like stories about your business, innovations that you've developed, and you also need to be aware of the number of followers that you are getting, and that's an important KPI for social media, definitely, because it will help you compare also if you are working well or not. But not only the number of followers, also you need to see the interaction from the followers you already have. If they are giving you likes, if they are sharing your content, if they are commenting on your content. So not only the followers is important, but also other indicators there. For instance, if you, at some point, you want to work with an influencer, and you see that an influencer has, I don't know, 80K followers. It's not just important to see this number of followers. It's important to see the engagement rate of this influencer with their followers. And why am I saying this? Because it's good to have this as an indicator of your performance on social media, but it's not just the only indicator if you want to use social media, because it will give you, yes, a comparison to how you were before, but you need to be aware that there are other indicators that need to complement this one.
There is another question. I already have an online presence on social media, but it seems the audience is not the right one. How do I achieve my audience and attract the right ones? So about that question, we will talk more about social media specifically tomorrow, but also next month during our workshop. So all your questions will be answered regarding social media and how to, to get to develop your social media strategy. So don't worry, it's in the plan.
Yes, and also that's why it's very important to know who you are targeting, because maybe that social media channel is not working because your audience is your potential visitors are not there, and you need to understand which channels they are using. But we will have a look at this tomorrow and next month as well. Then we have to going back to the plan for content marketing, we'll have to decide on the types of content that we want to share. So normally we'll have a mix, content that we create ourselves and content that it's out there and we just reshare. We'll also have to identify and allocate resources. So for example, let's say, you're a small business and the person in charge of marketing in your business has the final approval of the content strategy, but then you will have someone who is delivering this content, or even, a group of people, and each of them is doing a little bit of content. So you really need to identify who is doing what money resources you have, and allocate these resources in a wise manner. Then the next thing, when you have the content type, who is doing what, which channels, and who to target, you'll have to do a content calendar, create this content, and check here what works well for your audience and what kind of content they are looking for. There is a tool here which is very useful. It's called Answer the Public. And there you type, a topic, a word that you're interested on, and it gives you the results that people are asking for on Google. So for instance, let's say you are providing businesses with a tourism service and experience, and you want to know what people are talking about around the topic tourism, like safari, for example, and you want to know what they are asking. If you use this tool, Answer the Public, you will see what are the potential questions, so that you can create this valuable content for your visitors. But what we were mentioning before, if you already have content, check which is not working, why, adapt it and improve it, and then you would create new content there. Then you will have to distribute this content, and of course, measure. That's something that you have to do. Check your analytics, and see also, you can use other tools like Google Alerts, or another tool which is called Mention. We'll share with you these tools later. But there you can see if your content has been mentioned. And that's also a good way of tracking if you have backlinks in another page, or if other websites are referring to your content. So this is more simple than you can imagine. So creating good content helps your readers get engaged with your product or service. Once you have the content, you distribute it through your chosen channels. You share the content also through social media and other channels like emails. You can also write blogs and ask other channels to reshare your content, and then you will create more trust. And this is what we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. Good content creates trust, and then creates sales. So you really need to work on a content strategy that is planned in advance. And it's important to define your audience, as we are mentioning constantly here, but it's important as well to choose the correct channels. And here you have different channels. So we mentioned blogs, we mentioned social media, newsletters, ads, third-party contribution, and online communities. Each of them has its pros and cons. Of course, for instance, if you have a blog, the pro is that you can take advantage of organic search results in Google, but it will be difficult to appear there if you're starting from zero. So there you will have to do a really good work of optimization. If you are already present in social media, you will get a large audience quickly. But if you are not very active there, now it's harder to appear because there are a lot of profiles there. With newsletters, so if you already had a newsletter in place in your business strategy, that will allow you also to segment your customers. If you have this database, it's really important to, I mean, not only share, you know, like a general newsletter to all of them, but if you can segment them, and normally the newsletter tools have a function that allows you to analyze and then segment your audience. And this can be really good to increase the click-through rate in your newsletters if you target specific segments and offer each of them a different call to action. And the con, like the con here is that if you don't have an email list, it can be difficult to build one at the beginning. But of course, you can always try to reach out to your customers, to your old customers through social media, and to your new customers through forms on your website, and ask for their emails. Then regarding advertisements, so here, if we already did this, we know we can prove that we will have a guaranteed visibility. But if we haven't done this, then and we don't have a lot of budget, it will be difficult to appear online because there's a lot of competition. Being difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. I don't want to erase all the hope. It's not true, but you need to really do a work to target and understand who the customer is, to customize the advertisement and show it to the correct audience. This at the beginning will be more like testing different audiences, testing what works better, and then reaching out to the good customer. Then we have third-party distribution. We can have collaborators who can disseminate our content, and that's great. But if the con of this is that we'll have less control over what is posted. And finally, online communities or online platforms where we can post on like live feeds. Here, normally it's targeted to an audience that it's not general, so it's not like only Facebook. It's like, for instance, if you go to our community ecomConnect, it's targeted to e-commerce professionals. So if you share something there, you will know that the audience is interested in e-commerce, so you'll probably get more attraction. And the con here is that it may be seen as spam if it's not very interesting, or if it's like too repetitive in the platform. So if you go to a group on LinkedIn and you share your content, and many people have already shared content regarding that, they will not look at it because it's boring. So you have to differentiate yourself and create something engaging. And a strategy well, content marketing planning and content marketing strategy is a living thing. It should evolve as you execute it. You have to think it as you go. So here on the slide, you can see that you implement an action, it has an effect, you receive feedback, you improve that action, another effect, feedback, and so on. So it's a loop. You have to create, publish, promote your content, and then pay attention to what is working and what it's not. And then do more of what is working and forget about the things that were not working. And then you will come up with a great strategy. But for the most part, content marketing happens at the top of the marketing funnel. So if you create good content, you will create good awareness. So for instance, you create this content, your visitors click on it, they like you, they remember you, they trust you. And then if they see more content, they will visit you again. There will be more trust, again, better relationships with your customer. And then when they need the product, they will come back again and buy from you. So this is you have to see this like a more holistic process. So from the moment zero, you have to create a very good content plan that will take you to brand awareness, and then to the first interactions, to the eventual conversions, and then to buying again from your product. That's the importance of content marketing. And a point that we mentioned before, which is very important, is creating a content calendar. A content calendar is it's a schedule of what and when and where you're going to publish your content. We can make it very simple. For example, we can even use just Google Calendar to do this, and we can. And we can also create a simple Excel sheet where you can put what you want to publish, the date, the URL, the visual you're doing, some notes, if the element has been published or not, and the person in charge. And you can also use other tools out there which work well if you are working in a bigger team, like for example Trello or Asana. They are tools for content planning that work well. But if you want to go first a bit more simple, we suggest you to use a Google Sheet that you can share with your team and you can all work together. And then the content calendar will allow you to see what has been published according to schedule and what needs to be done later. And this is like 3 quick tips about what we suggest you doing for the content calendar. So first, make a list of your ideas, write about different topics and categorize them. Do maybe like 4 or 5 categories of different ideas. Then decide on a frequency of publication. So you can, it depends also on the channels. Like for instance, on Twitter, you will be probably more active than on Facebook or Instagram, but it depends on what you're using more. And then use your content ideas to fill in your dates. So really see which content you want to post more about, and also which dates are important during the calendar day to create some content around those important dates for your business. So that's about the content strategy. You'll be able to work on this more later with the workbook, and we hope it really helps. And of course, use all the tools we mentioned, and let us know if at some point you need more info about these tools. Now I leave you with Joanna, who's going to dive deep into the SEO.
Yes, maybe we should have a quick break now.
Yeah.
We are like at the middle of the session, so let's have a 10-minute break, and and we'll continue with the content, everything that Christina shared with you. So of course you will get the presentation, so you will be able to get through everything, like, you know, like you will have more time to get through everything. Also, we will continue tomorrow on some of the subjects that you mentioned, like social media. And next month during the workshop, we will talk about tracking, KPIs. Then we will also talk again about social media, and we will talk about email marketing. We will talk about PPC. We will talk about all this advertising, how you can do online. So don't worry, we really tried like to cover everything. We are trying to cover everything. So let's start with this content from a marketing and SEO perspective. First, you need to understand, so search engine optimization, SEO, it focuses really on helping your website rank well in search results, while user experience, UX, that we will talk more about tomorrow, deals with how users interact with your website. So UX is all about users. However, keep in mind, you know, building a website is like it's a constant battle of SEO versus UX. So the two work together toward the same goals in the end. So and remember that Google, okay, I'm talking about we are talking about search engine, but I'm talking more about Google because as we've seen, 92% of the search online are through Google. So Google keeps updating its algorithm to provide better results to users. So as Google updates its algorithm, it gets better at understanding what each page is about, whether it will be useful to users, and whether it provides a good user experience. So many of the things that improve your UX also improve your SEO. So both works together. So when creating a new page or new website, it's important to consider UX and SEO together. You really need to continuously test your website because this is crucial for improving the performance of your website over time. So don't think these two areas as separate, but they actually work together. And for Google, user experience is extremely important for the SEO. So let's start with keyword optimization. Okay, so what you have to start is you need to conduct a keyword research. You need, this is the base. You need to find keywords for your homepage and product, services, pages, and any page that you have on your website. This is the base. You need to understand what your keywords are. You will try to aim for long tail keywords. So what are we talking about here? So we have body keywords that are 2 or 3 word phrases that get like decent search volume. They are more specific than single word keywords, which are insanely competitive, too broad, and don't convert well. Long tail keywords are long phrases, usually more than like 4 or more words, and they are usually quite specific. So as you can see here on the image, you can see the competition versus conversion depending on the type of keyword you will use. If you have a single word phrase, like for example, t-shirts, so it's highly competitive. It will be very hard for you to rank your website based on that. So you need to develop those keywords. Then when you start developing it and having something like blue t-shirts, it's getting better. It's more specific. So you know the conversion start to get better. And then when you really target long tail keywords like blue American apparel t-shirts, so here you have more chance to have a higher conversion. So this is what we are talking about when conducting keywords research, is really like focusing on these long tail keywords that are relevant to your business. So how do we want to do that? So you need to determine what your target audience needs and wants. So what question do they need answered? What pain point do people have? What solutions do people need that you can provide? And what things do people consider before they invest in what you offer? So always keep user intent in mind. After you made a list of long tail keywords you might want to use, go over them again and think about why people would search for those terms. So there is a good technique, you know, to do your research. You need to brainstorming keywords, like getting team members and other relevant people involved in the keyword brainstorming process can generate more keywords and more relevant keywords that you might be to come up with on your own. So it's a teamwork. So you really need to take time, take like a half a day, sit down all together, and and think about that together as a team. It's also something that you should do on a regular basis, like because there is also it's if you change your services or things like that. So, but whatever you do, don't use long tail keywords that aren't a good fit, even if you think they will be easy to rank for, because visitor will be annoyed if your site or product doesn't actually address their needs when they get there. So make sure these long tail keywords are relevant to your offer. To find keywords for your homepage and product pages, you can use some tools. There is a lot of tools out there. One of them is Ubersuggest. So there are things to consider when you do this research, like relevancy, search volume, and ranking difficulty. So on Ubersuggest, you can really like check your keywords and target specific countries, regions. Like in this example, we have handmade bags. We made a search for handmade bags, especially for in English in Kenya. So in Kenya. So we can see the search for handmade bags. We have 268 keywords IDs that came up. So handmade bag, it's a good ID for homepage, and the following keywords, like so handmade bags is the first. So for for the homepage, it's good, and the following keywords under might be might be good maybe for for the product pages. Try not to choose like too broad or competitive keywords. And to understand what is too broad or too competitive, in this online tool, there is this SD score, which is the SEO difficulty. And on this tool, if it's in green, if it's below 50, it means it's okay. It's okay to use this keyword. So at the moment, like handmade bags in Kenya, in English, it's 20. So handmade bags is still a relevant keywords to use on that market. If you go after keywords with high competition, remember it will take a long time to achieve high rankings if you ever get there. And if the match is too broad, you likely will end up with a high bounce rate and low conversion rate because of people clicking through to your site and not finding what they are looking for. So remember that, and so go and use this type of tool, to get some inspiration of what you could use and what will be relevant depending on the market that you target. Another place, a great place to get ideas for long tail keywords is on Google search. So if you enter a body keyword into Google and you scroll to the bottom of the search result, you'll see a list of related searches for that keyword. So searches related to handmade bags Kenya, this example. So you have like a few related search, and maybe here you can also find relevant keywords that you could use, because you can see people are looking for them. And you can also use Google Search Console. So Google Search Console is a free service offered by Google. It helps you monitor, maintain, and troubleshoot your site's presence in Google search result. But just remember, you don't have to sign up for Search Console to be included in Google search result. But Search Console helps you understand and improve how Google sees your site. So you will get reports helping you measure your site traffic and performance. It will help you to optimize your content with search analytics, get your content on Google by submitting sitemaps here as well. We will talk sitemap later or tomorrow, I think. And then you can get alerts as well on issues and fix your site when there is something wrong, and you know how Google search sees your pages. So it's a good tool to start using if you are not using it yet. So keyword for keyword optimization, remember, sit down all together as a team, use the tools that are out there, and remember to use them in your content. When it comes to the homepage optimization, okay. So what is a homepage? So remember, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So that's why your homepage is without doubt one of the most important web page of your website. It's your window. It's the window of your business. You know, the homepage is a company's main web page that people typically land on when they first enter a site from a search engine. So even if the homepage is not where people start, it is where they go when they need to navigate quickly or when they return to your site later. So remember that. So this is why it's really important to optimize as much as you can this page. And there are some key elements that you need to focus on, like you need to answer who I am, what I do, what can you do here? The homepage needs to speak to the target audience. You need to have a clear value proposition on your homepage. It needs to be optimized for multi-device usability, of course. You need to include call to action, CTAs. So, you know, an optimized homepage uses a primary and secondary call to action to direct visitors to the next logical step. Like, you know, example includes like free trial, schedule a demo, buy now, or learn more. So remember, the goal of the homepage is to compel visitors to dig deeper into your website and move them further down the funnel. So CTAs tell them what to do next, so they don't get stuck or lost. And more importantly, CTAs turn your homepage into a sales or lead generation engine, and not just you know, a brochureware. A homepage also always changes. So the best homepages aren't always static. You need to reflect the need, the problem and question at a specific time of the moment. And it needs to be well designed. So a great design, it's very important to building trust, communicating value, and for the navigation as well. So your homepage should effectively use layout, CTA placement, white space. White space is important as well, color, font, and other supporting elements. So remember, the design for user experience is extremely important. So what are the benefits of an optimized homepage? So it increases brand awareness. So if you make your website memorable, then it will be that much easier to generate returning visitor. So the homepage is basically it's the door to the rest of your site, and everything that will inform your visitor on your value, offers, product, and background. Without it, no one will be able to identify who you are and why you own your position in the market. So, and you know, homepage, when we arrive on a homepage, as a user, we really need to understand things in less than 2 seconds. Like, it needs to be clear. The homepage improves the user experience. So when it's well built, it usually translates into an easy interface that visitors have no difficulty in navigating. So you really want to give this good experience from the start. And visitors definitely take notice of their user experience, and it carries a lot of influence over their purchasing decision. So play off of that psychology by building a homepage with that in mind. And then it boosts conversion. So if you make it easier for them to get what they need, or through your homepage, then you'll have a much easier time boosting your conversions number. And a sloppy or unattractive homepage usually only results in a high bounce rate, unless you are like super niche and then they have no choice, and then they really will spend time on it. But unfortunately, it's not the case. The competition is there. So yeah, make it sure your homepage is clear. So there are some key features on every homepage, and so you will have to go back on your site and make sure everything, all these key features are there. These are best practices. So the logo logo and branding element. This is the base. This is you know, you all of you have a logo. That's good. Make sure you know your logo is relevant, and on the homepage usually tend to show up on the top left side of your homepage, since that's where the user eyes are first drawn to. However, you can also center your logo within your navigation bar or the first section of the page. Keep in mind, wherever you place your logo, it really needs to be easy to spot and large enough that visitor can make out what it says. So your logo needs to be clear. And also it's the core of your business branding and identity. So the logo on a website often double its functionality as a link to the homepage. So you want it to be in an obvious location within the header to help for this navigation, to help the user for the navigation. So logo and branding is one of the first key features. You can work your logo in you know, depending on the view, depending on the device, your logo can slightly vary. So remember that in this example, it's a brand that's Pachacuti. Sorry for my Spanish. I'm pretty sure it's Spanish, but you can see that it's not displayed the same way on the desktop view, number one. Then when you scroll down on still on the desktop view, you see the logos moved on the, it's still there when we scroll down, but it's moved to the left. It moved to the left, and also we don't see anymore the part at the bottom of the logo, which is fine, but we still have the logo. And then the mobile version is also slightly different. So think about that. Think about the different devices, and your logo can be displayed in different way. You need to adapt also your logo depending on the view on the device. If you don't have yet, or if you want to rework your logo, you have some tools that are available out there, and they are also good for all your branding elements. They are not just logo maker tools, but they can help you as well with your images and anything that, any image, that you would like to use on your website. So you have, like, for example, Tailor Brands and Canva. These are like two basic tools. It's some of the features are free, some other you will have to pay a fee, but you know, depending on if this tool can be useful for you, you can decide to have it or not. You will get all the addresses in the workbook, all the links to these tools. Another key features on your homepage is the headline. So, like I said, within a matter of seconds, like 1-2 seconds, your website needs to communicate to visitor what you have to offer. So a headline with sub-headline or paragraph text should provide a clear description of your business and what you do or the services you provide. So this is usually 2 or 3 sentences of powerful, memorable, and concise text that target your user's need. So of course, this is a place where you can add, you can use keywords. So make sure you have that in place. Make sure you have this headline and sub-headline. We need to understand what you are about, what is your offer, who you are, like straight away. Like on this example on the left, in BK, we arrive on the website. It's a digital development agency, and we craft game-changing digital experiences. Okay, so we know where we are. We start to understand what they are doing. And on the right, same, easy, creating bespoke software that's flexible and reliable. And then under, we can see quickly develop fit for purpose software. So we get where we are, and then we want to scroll down and click to understand a little bit more about them. Another key features are the call to action. They boost your conversion. So before you write your call to action, you need to determine the goal you're trying to achieve there. So do you want to increase, let's say, subscriptions? Do you want to boost sales? Do you want to move readers to another content piece on your site? So remember, first call to action, your primary call to action needs to be above the fold. On the desktop view and on the mobile view. We want to see it above the fold. So how to write a call to action? Let's say, you use action phrases, so make it very clear about the action that you would like the user to perform there. Try maybe to use first person. It's the easiest way to encourage a user to do something, is to make it more personable, like you're speaking to a friend. So use first person. You can also create like a sense of urgency, but that doesn't mean that you need to install panic. You don't want to make your user panic. No, it's really about instead try to bring attention to the time-sensitive nature of what you're offering. It could be a referral incentive, like a major discount on a product if you're selling product, or valuable content that can help potential customer right now. And so create a friendly sense of urgency to prompt them to act. Try to eliminate any roadblock or friction. It needs to, you notice this call to action, this button, you need to make the action as easy as possible to perform. So for example, if you want to prompt the user to share your content on their social media channels to increase social proof on your brand, be sure to include a clear social share button right alongside your CTA. Try to make the CTAs as well stand out and easy to find. So you can use, whether you use a colorful clickable button or a well-designed form, make sure that your call to action is easy to find. We want to see it. It needs to be clear. So it should be the first thing your eyes is drawn toward when you load the page with clear text that encourages a specific action. So you need to guide your audience in the buyer's journey. And some examples are, sign up, subscribe, try for free, get started, learn more, join us, discover, buy now, our work. There is 1,000 of them. And you need to think about them. And also your CTAs. So this is something that you need to monitor with analytics tool, because sometimes you can have a CTA where the wording is just not right, and just by sending from a sign up to subscribe, sometimes you will have a more click through. So yeah, these are like things that you really need to monitor with analytics, with analytics tool. Another element, important element of your homepage is the photos. You need to make it visual. So make sure your image or videos are also good assets for the homepage. You need to make sure they're above the fold. The images are simple, clear, and professional. So the image needs to capture the essence of your brand. And remember, it's just easier to digest images than it is to digest text. We need text, but you need to be visual. people are visual, and the photo of someone using your product, or a photo of people engaging with your services is better than a stationary photo, because the viewer is able to connect with it. So our brains are made in a way that our eyes are drawn to human faces, and we empathize with the perceived emotion. So the photos add a sense of credibility and integrity to a website. So make sure you have like the right visuals. Make sure they are all professional. It's extremely important. Then when it comes to text content, which is another key feature, important for the user experience, important for the SEO, you need to use the right language, keep it simple and easy to read, like in these two examples. So the languages of your site matters. It is best to not only describe what you do, but to connect it to why it matters to the visitor. So keep your content simple, easy to read. Avoid industry jargon by being conscious of your target audience. So if you sell, if you sell software, if you sell like something very technical, keep it simple. Keep the word simple, because maybe you are technical, you are the expert, but your client is not always an expert, and is coming to you because you are the expert. So you need to think about like the vulgarization of what you are selling, and you need to translate your expertise to your potential client who might not be an expert. So yeah, connecting with the visitor using a brand consistent voice and convincing them about how they will benefit from you is essential for maintaining interest. So remember that. So make sure you are using the right language. Some other key features on the homepage that you should include are testimonials. So providing testimonials or customer client review is another powerful way to stimulate trust and establish your expertise. So the social proof shows new visitors that you know what you're doing and provide key insight to your products and services.
Joanna, there is a question in the chat from Paul. He says that, should we say dynamic websites are better than static websites?
But yes and no. Yes, it can be. There is a trend tending through dynamic website, but a static website, if it's clear, if it's really include the right elements there, can work as well. So it's really depend on your business. But yeah, definitely. Dynamic websites are probably where we should go now. However, it needs to be done well. So if you can't do it well, it's better to keep it simple but effective. So this will be my advice. Okay. I continue now on the...
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay.
No more questions so far.
Yeah, okay. So we have another key features. Here it's if you have award certification, or if you are part of an association, if you get some recognition from anywhere, add it on your site. It really builds credibility, It speaks to the quality of your work and supports your image as an expert in your field and a trusted business partner. So please do not hesitate to add that, and it's actually quite important. It's visual and it really helps to build trust. So again, another example here, which inspire trust. When we see in this example, they are award winner, they are in the top 100 digital agency list. They are UX UK award winners and other other awards. So if you have that, please add it. And also we can see a list of some of the clients they work with, and this also inspire trust, like sharing some of your clients you worked with in the past. So the key point, remember, headline with a clear value proposition, sub-headline, primary and secondary call to actions, supporting image, because people are visual, image and videos, the benefits, why to buy from you, social proof, remember, navigation, make sure it's visible at the top of the page, the mega menu, and you can add your success indicator like testimonial, success story, and all of that. So all these elements are best practices. You need to have these elements on your homepage. Like if not all of them, at least most of them, your homepage will be more attractive, will give more information. We will have a better user experience there. And this is important for the user experience, but for the SEO as well. If a user has a good user experience on your site, search engine like Google will know it, because the person will spend more time on the homepage. And if you keep someone longer on your homepage, so it's a good signal for ranking. About us. So most of you have an about us section. Let's go through quickly about it. There is always like some room for improvement. Remember that it helps your visitor to establish a connection to your company story, and we have some key elements there, like you tell the story about the company's origin, its location, its commitment to society and environment, if any, if you use special material or special technique, the people working for the company and its customer. You really need to communicate the story of your business and why you started it. You need to create this connection with your potential clients. You need to explain your business model and how everything is made there. You need to put a face to your business, and here it's a good occasion to incorporate persuasive content like an explainer video, like some data visualization, links to blog posts, and sometimes what you can do actually, because you don't want to clutter your homepage as well. We just talk homepage, but there are some of the elements that you can reduce them on the homepage and then link them to your about us, where they will find more information related. So keep it real. So set the scene. Introduce the problem, so describe the problem that called you, rise to the challenge, arrive at a solution, and vision what's next. So this is how you build your text content in an about us text and visual content on your About Us page. So use this section to tell more about you. So every successful About page is centered around the founder story. Storytelling is proving to boost conversion rate. So putting a face to your brand helps to humanize it. It helps to communicate your company culture and shine a light on the people who power your business. So even if you only highlight the founders, which is fine as well, your About Us page can be a chance to build your personal brand and share how your story and experience makes you and your company a good fit to serve your market. So it's really something that you need to develop well. Here it's an example. It's one of you, Bionic. You are there, so it's. I just wanted to share that your About Us page is a good one. We have pictures. Everyone is smiling, and then when we click on the picture, we have a little bit more about each of you, which is great, and it's a good example that I wanted to share with everyone today. It's also the place where you can establish a mission and vision statement. So really, who are you? What do you believe? What are your goals? And what do you bring to the table as a company and brand? So writing an About page for a website that includes a strong, solid mission statement that clearly outline the company's philosophy and methods. So we'll keep your prospect reading and wanting to learn more. Like in this example, we can see that this agency is really pushing on their value on honesty and integrity, team experience, team players, forward thinking, and there is a little bit of a description under that, but these are their values. So it's a good place to add this kind of elements. So now let's talk blog. So not all of you have a blog yet. Some of you have a blog, but it's not developed much. So I would like to say, a blog, it's important for your SEO, for user experience. It can drive traffic to your website. So creating a useful business blog requires the answer to 4 questions. How do I choose a topic? How often should I post? What format should I use? And how do I write a blog post? You can find ideas for blog posts on general forum, on industry-specific forum, online groups, industry publication in the comment section, on social media, and also Christina mentioned the answer the question site where you can find as well some ideas. So you know how to choose your topics that will help your customers. It's really, you need to know what your customers care about, and you need to search and what they are searching for online. So from that, then you can brainstorm topics that's, while sometimes they may not directly relate to your business, but it will be interesting and helpful to your target audience. Like I will give like a broad example. Like for example, in the tourism sector, at the moment, if you have a blog, you can write about COVID on the blog, because COVID has it's not writing about COVID on a tourism in the tourism sector, on the website in the tourism sector. It's not, you are not selling your product directly. However, you are talking about a topic that is actually, really impacting your sector. So it's about that, finding some subject that's might relate to your industry at some at a particular moment in time. So the benefits of blogging. So what is a blog? So blog is a regularly updated website or web page, and can either be used for personal use or to fulfill a business need. So unlike a website, a blog, formerly known as weblog, need to be updated regularly and allow you to engage with your visitor. So I would say here, of course, your blog, it needs to be integrated to your website. Try not to have it somewhere else, because you want to drive traffic to your website, and the blog can really help you with your SEO. So the benefits of blogging, it will help you with ranking. It will drive this organic traffic to your website. So it's a beneficial time investment and addition to your business branding, marketing, and sales efforts. So this is why you really need to think about having a blogging strategy. You don't have to write like every day or every week. Maybe if you do just one article every 3 weeks, and maybe this will be enough. So yeah, and it contributes to your inbound marketing technique. Blogs also helps you to become known as an expert in the industry, and stand out against your competition by writing about the various topics your business and product line is known for or related to. So this may include content marketing, public relations, or software for small businesses. And foster also a sense of community. So your audience member know there are 100 or 1,000, depending on the size of your blog, of other people equally as interested in your information and content. So it can engage audience member and customer. So they potentially can keep coming back to read your content. It's a good place to boost revenues with call to action and links to your website pages where your audience can learn about and purchase your services or sign up for your services. And support all of your marketing and greater business initiative by staying consistent with your branding and tone through all of your blog. If there are some SEO tips to keep in mind for when you try to optimize your blog. So you try to make your content organically rank and easily searchable. So blogging helps boost SEO quality by positioning your website as a relevant answer to your customers' question. Remember that you are answering that your customer question. So blog post that specifically use a variety of on-page SEO tactics can give you more opportunities to rank in search engines and get customers to visit your site. So focus on 1-2 long tail keywords that match the intent of your target reader. Include your 1-2 keyword in specific parts of your post. Make sure your blog is mobile friendly and responsive. So if it's on your website, so it should be. Optimize your meta description and you use all the space. Optimize your images with image alt text. Don't use too many similar topic tags. Link internally when possible. Use Google Search Console and repurpose or update your current content and remove outdated content. This is important to improve your SEO. You may assume you need to create a new blog content, but okay, that's partially true, but you should also focus on your time and energy on your existing blog content, like specifically repurposing and updating your current content, as well as removing your outdated content. This is because it takes a lot longer for a completely new piece of content to settle on the search engine result page and gain authority. Whereas when you could update a piece of content and reap the benefit fairly immediately in comparison. So go and have a look at some old posts that may be still a little bit relevant, add just the update, like the 2021 updates, and yeah, and you have like a new fresh post that's already was taken by search engines. So the blog post structure is we need to have a headline, okay, because this is the first things that people will see. So don't be boring. Here we have like which online payment gateway is best for your business. Okay, we understand what it will be about, straight to the point. We want an introduction, so you need to tell why they should read your blog post. So try to keep it short, simple, but effective. So then it makes me want to continue reading. And then try to have as well like catchy pictures on this first part of your blog. Then we want some leads in, main point. Your main point, you know, list them or use headings over paragraph. Always write for your reader, not for search engine. This is important. Quality of your content. Remember, you are writing for someone. Of course, you are writing for Google as well, but you are writing for someone first. So remember that. So you want something that is readable, and we want quality, and then end with a conclusion, with a closing paragraph. So as you can see here, this is everything we just talked about. We have images, we have text, we have some different points, subject, and visually as well, it's clear. And then at the bottom, we have some similar posts that we can also go and check. Okay. So like, as I say, at the bottom, related post, sharing, invitation for feedback. This is best practice, and because here you want to engage more as well with your potential client. You want to build a community, you want to engage people. So these elements are, it's good to have these elements at the bottom of your article. Also, in your blog section, you can make categories. You can categorize the type of the type of content, and you can think about various subjects, and you can classify everything. This helps as well the readers, like, to stay on your blog, to look at what they are interested in, and find maybe more articles, especially related to, let's say, like here, experience design or commerce or people and career or news. Remember as well, when you write on your blog, you need to use keywords in a natural way. You don't want to stuff your keywords, like use 100 times the same word. No. This is bad. You don't do that. You want to use them strategically within certain element to give an understanding of the topic. So do not overuse the technique, and no stuffing, because it's considered as spam. So you want to have your keyword probably in the title element, in the URL, in the body text, in the image alt as well, description. So these are the basics. Yes.
Normally, like what we normally recommend is not to create more than around 7% of, like, use that keyword like more than 7% of the total text in your page, because otherwise it's what Joanna was saying, you read something and it becomes like repetitive and it's not natural anymore. So try to keep that number.
So remember, if you out of 100 words, you want 7 of them being your keywords. And again, remember, you need to write something interesting. This is the most important, because the user will arrive on your blog post, and he wants to get something out of it. It needs to be interesting. Your content, it's about quality content. It's really about quality content. Sorry. So address the right topics, create unique and useful content. Extremely important. It's about user experience. So create a content calendar for your blog. So as Christina, she spoke about the content calendar. So this is something that you should introduce in your content calendar. And there you will be able to develop, blog topic IDs, category, suggested headline, etc., etc. And there are some models that you can do a little bit more research about that, but there is this something called the AIDA model for marketing. It's a methodology that you can follow. It's about attention, interest, desire, action. So AIDA is an acronym for this attention, interest, desire, action, and you can really follow this model to captivate your audience. Let's talk footer optimization now. Okay, another example from one of you here. So Zinad, you are with us today, and I wanted to share your footer, which is you are following best practice, and yeah, I just wanted to share that, so for everyone to understand how it can look like. So internal linking structure is very important for SEO, but also for helping users navigate your website in a natural way. Is there a question?
Omar, do you want to talk?
Maybe I just share the link to our website.
Sure.
Yeah, you
Right.
can add it in the chat, and then yeah. So
yeah, it's a
so
good practice for the others, right?
Yeah. So yeah, remember, Google wants to understand whether you've added footer links only for SEO purpose or if they exist to help the end users in their navigation process. So if Google determines those links were added to help user navigate your website, so they are considered a positive item, and Google will crawl those links. So if these links are added strictly for SEO purpose, this will be seen as a negative in the eyes of Google, and this is something that you want to avoid. So let's understand what links should you put in your footer. So in orange here, let's say it's the minimum that you should include. So the business contact information, copyright information, call to action, opt-in form, sitemap, privacy policy, term of use, location categories. And then the rest are elements that you can include in your footer. So footer links are important, but do not include more than 30 footer links, not more than 30. If you have external footer links pointing to third-party website, you really want to ensure those are website related and in the same niche as yours. You don't want to add a ton of external links in the footer for all type of different sites, as this will look unnatural. So remember, the purpose of footer links should be to help user with navigating around your website and nothing else. So make it clear, make it, it needs to make sense with the linking there. Another element in your footer is the copyright. Every website should include a copyright notice in the site footer. Be it the word copyright or the copyright symbol paired with the year of publication of the year substantial changes were made. So since websites are updated on a regular basis, so it is common practice to code the date such that is automatically updated annually. So you can see in this example, you can see 2021, 2021, and so it was automatically updated. So note that including copyright notice is not legally mandated. Your work is protected under copyright law the moment it's created. But the notice acts as a deterrent to plagiarism and may help your case in the event legal action is required. So yeah, make sure you have it because some of you don't. Sitemap. So it's good practice to add a sitemap link in your footer. We will talk about sitemap tomorrow. So this is not a link where visitor will click. However, it's the XML sitemap help search engine find things. So let's talk more about the sitemap tomorrow. Privacy policy. We want to see a link to the privacy policy. So for most websites, it's about tracking. So analytics and remarketing, form submission and email sign up. So privacy policies inform user of the data you are collecting on your site. For example, like the user will do cookies, personal contact information, as well as how you will be using it, basically. So the privacy policy is a legal requirement, but it's also an opportunity to build a user trust in your website. So make it clear and easy to understand. You must have it. If you don't have it yet, you must have it. Another element is the term of use. So this is slightly different than the privacy policy. So don't confuse both of them. So terms of use inform the user what they are agreeing to by using your website. For example, not using your content without consent. So it's a good idea to state that your company is not responsible for linked content on independent party website. So make sure you have a term of use in the footer, like a link to the term of use. The contact. So this should be a link to the contact page with a contact form and not an email link. Remember that. And there are a lot of reasons to use a contact form rather than an email link. So first, the form submission is easy to track as a goal completion in analytics. So very important. Also, the visitor may not be on a computer when they use that they use for email. So if it's just an email address, it will not be good. Forms send visitor to thank you pages, which can provide more messaging and call to action, basically. There are also forms sending visitors, they can get auto response email. And again, this is for more messaging and CTAs. Forms can connect to marketing automation and other systems. And remember, if you leave just your email there, email links are spam magnet. So leave that email link out of your footer. In fact, I don't recommend putting an email link anywhere on your website. This is not best practice, and yeah, there are spam magnets. So please make sure you don't have an email link unprotected on your website. Navigation. So you can add as well in the footer like key content you will find in your mega menu drop down in the header navigation as an additional option for quick access. So you don't have to just repeat your main navigation, but you can just add like some of the most important web pages for the navigation. Then this is also it's best practice to add here an area for email sign up and subscription. So if you have a blog or newsletter, including an email sign up in your footer provides an opportunity for your user to sign up for your content on every page. So footer sign up boxes should still follow email sign up best practices, like offering social proof, like how many have signed up before, and setting expectation. If I subscribe now, what I will get from you, and how often. So try to be clear on what I will get, something that will really make me want to subscribe to your newsletter, let's say. So it can't be just like a lonely little email address box with a submit button, because this will not convert very well. So like here in this example, you can subscribe, you enter your email, and you sign up for newsletter and receive updates on event, collection, and exclusive promotion. So you need to tell what they will get. So in the footer as well, social media buttons like icons and widgets. So remember to have them. So some footer even go beyond the icon and use an actual social media widget, like in this example where we can see the Instagram feed. But this this is not relevant for all of you, but actually for some of you, it could be a nice addition. So yeah, make sure you have the icons, all the social media that you're using. Make sure you link them properly, and we want an opening in a new tab. And then your footer can be an optimal location to establish your brand's reputation. So again, as we mentioned earlier, so about award, about affiliation, also if you are using some payment methods, add the logos. Are you working with some shipping companies? Maybe add their logos. Are you working, with different people association, and just add the logos, and it's good to have that like more in the footer section of your site. So all these things are what we call social proof. So this was about the footer. Now we'll go with the photo optimization. I pass it to Christine.
Yeah, let's now continue with the photo optimization. We won't spend too much time here because there's not much time left, and we want to hear about some questions and your experiences with blogging, because there was some talks there in the chat about that. So images, well, as you know, they serve more than just for design and looking good and so on. It has other purposes. And for example, images can help you have more views and more clicks. We're humans. We are very visual. We really like images that attract our attention and that create some kind of emotion within us and make us take action. And that's what we want to achieve with the images, to create this emotion in the visitor, and then click on a button, buy, read something, a call to action that we want to embed to this purpose. We also want good images to bring our product to life. Okay, this means that we need an image that really shows how our product or service is, because this will again generate trust and avoid having like returns of our products or misleading information if the image was not accurate. Images also serve to increase the search in the search engines. So you can always index images, and then this index images will work for SEO, as Joanna will mention, and I will explain a bit later. And you need to add like good descriptions to the images and also good keywords there, and then you will have more possibilities of appearing in the search results. And also images are crucial for social media, because each time we spend less time reading text, and we want good images that cause an effect on us. And where can you get images from? Well, you can either get them from stock platforms. So you have their free or paid photographs that you can purchase and add to your materials. Here we added some examples. I also shared with you before on the chat another page that I use, because it's let's say like a marketplace of stock photos, but which has all these platforms incorporated, and it's very useful. And then you can obviously take photos yourself, which gives you more control, and you will have authentic photos that no one else has. So if you have some budget, it would be good to also hire a professional photographer to do that. And it's not only important to have good photos. just for the matter of having a nice visual, but also because when we have photos that are useful, that explain themselves, people are also going to look for them on Google. So I don't know you, but me, for example, I sometimes go directly onto images to look for explanations about a topic. Sometimes I look for, you know, ideas or a style that I want to incorporate in my new design, or if I want to read about a topic, I look for an infographic that can be a summary of a topic, and it goes more into the point. And maybe that's what you can also do, an infographic about your services that it's well optimized for search engines and appears easily on the images engine. And Google shows some best practices for images. We added them here. There is, well, I don't know if you know the page developers from Google, and they have a lot of information about best practices on the platform. And we summarized these ones about photos because they really give you good tips to help you be discovered more easily on the web. So one of the first tips that Google gives is that with the photos, you need to create a great user experience. This means that your visuals need to be relevant to the topic you're explaining. Logically, you can't have a photo about a car if you're talking about animals. That doesn't make sense. This is an extreme case, but we have seen in some of the businesses that the image is not that linked to the topic, and it can be a bit misleading. So please, I mean, be coherent in your images. Also, avoid embedding text onto images because then it's difficult for the search engines to be searchable. And in some cases, for example, you have a banner, and instead of just putting the photo and then an H1 heading in the HTML code, you take the photo and you put a title embedded there on the photo, and that's not searchable. So that could be also bad for the user experience there. And of course, create different, you have to optimize the images so that they are searchable in every device. You also need to check the page title and description for the image, because Google automatically generates these snippets. So this is a small image with a title and a description in the results. So you need to be quite descriptive there. Here I want to highlight, because we don't have so much time, that it's important that you optimize the images for speed. You need to make them responsive. We'll have a look at this later. And of course, include all the titles, captions. Use keywords also in how you describe the images. And something that's very, very, very important is using the alt text, because this alt text, the alternative text, it helps describing an image, and it improves accessibility for people who can't see the images, and on web pages, like for example, blind people who can't really see them. So it helps them understand what they are seeing. And then also it helps users who don't have a really good connection to see, you know, like not the image, but at least the description of the image, which can give them an idea of that. And this is, let's say that Google gives points if you have this. And it's very easy to embed in your CMS or even on social media as well. When you upload a photo, you are asked to include this alt text. And in terms of regarding the different file types, we normally have three photo types. So JPEG, PNG, and SVG, sometimes also GIFs. Each of them has a different use, and each of them has its own advantages and disadvantages. But in general, JPEG are more used for larger photos, illustrations, photos that are very colorful, and that you don't want to lose, you know, any quality of this photo. But the only thing is that if you compress these photos, they normally lose quality, and that's the main drawback of this type of photos. Then you have PNG, which allow you to preserve background transparency, and that's great, because this is very well used also for like logos or images where we want to take an object and just leave the background transparent. And then we have SVG, which work for vectors, and designers mainly tend to work right now with this type of formats to create logos, icons, and yeah, other visuals. And to resize these images, so you can use image compressors that reduce the file size. And what we recommend is to use images that are between, yeah, what you see here, 1,500, 2,500 pixels wide maximum, so that you don't have many issues when uploading. Because when you use a higher resolution or larger dimensions of a photo, especially if they are done with professional cameras, they really can slow your page loading time. So you really need to scale down the file size and compress the photo so that you don't lose a lot of quality. And yeah. And then another very important thing that we mentioned is that you need to name correctly the images, because if you want to optimize an image, step number one is to really name them fine. So you want Google to know what the image is about without even looking at it. So really you need to name this correctly. So for instance, we have this photo, which, as you can see, it's a small cat. And if we don't change the name, we probably would save it somehow like this. And what information does it give us to us? Nothing. So we need to name it like this, and this will help Google extract information about the image and be more optimized. And if you want to separate words, this is a good tip, because sometimes we tend to put underscores, and that is not recognized by search engines. So you have to put hyphens. And last tip here is that names should make both to search engines and to humans, to both of us. So be clear and consistent with the names as well. This is the alt text we were talking about, and we said that it improves accessibility for people who have more limitations to access text. And here you can see a snippet of the code where we can see, missing alt text. Here we don't have any alt text. Here we have alt text in the second example, but it's just keyword stuffing, which doesn't work neither. It's too many words. You can see here all the synonyms of puppy, dog, which doesn't work. Here we have a better example. We have puppy, but we could be a bit more concise and use a long tail keyword and make it a bit more precise. So instead of just writing puppy, we put Dalmatian puppy plain fetch, and it will help us in our search results. So here, be as specifically as possible, keep it short, straight to the point, use keywords, don't add text to the images, well, unless, I mean, it really helps, like, for example, on social media, if you want to add text because it's more impactful, that's fine, but then also add the alt text. And yeah, don't waste time when you add words such as image of a cat, a black cat, fetching, because it's obvious it's an image, so we don't need to spend like keyword space on these words. And yeah, here you can see an example of a descriptive alt text for a business in, I think this was in Ecuador. Yeah. So this alt text says, meet the artisans in Ecuador who handmade your Panama hat. And yeah, here you can see a good example with a real case of this business. And how do you add this alt text? Well, I mentioned before that it can be directly added to your HTML code, but of course, if you use a CMS, you'll have the option to do that. And also on social media, you will have an option to add the text very easily. And now we're going to the last part with Joanna again.
Yes, and I think we will start that tomorrow because yeah, it starts being late, and if it will be maybe good now to have if you have questions about today, and yes, so please tell us, ask us. Any question?
We had before a discussion when you were talking about blogs. We had some 3 businesses who want to start a blog, and I wanted to hear more about them. If you've already, I mean, it's just an idea of you already explored the topics and how you want to organize that. I think it was
yeah, I'm
seeing
that there is Synode Clinic Master, but
and Paula, who is from Data Care. No, for 3D services.
Yeah,
well, it would be good to hear that maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. There is another question. What are general tips for social media success? So social media, we will start talking about social media tomorrow. It's a part of the agenda tomorrow. And also the workshop next month. One of the workshops will be really focusing on social media, because as you can see, there's a lot to talk about, and SEO and digital marketing. It's not something that we just in two webinar and 2 workshop develop totally. It's a very broad subject. I was wondering if we are getting to get an opportunity to do practicals, most especially when it comes to SEO. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. So we will continue the presentation tomorrow, where we will continue to talk SEO, to the best practices that you need to adopt, to improve your SEO. This is what we've done today, and we will continue tomorrow. And then you will get a workbook with exercises where you will be able to apply things that we were talking about today and tomorrow.
Yeah, I wanted to share the screen a second, because I don't know if you all had the chance to look at how the program looks like. You see it now, right?
Yes, so I can see.
Yes, so yeah, Joanna was saying that now we are doing this webinar, which is a bit more general, and it's not so workshop style. But after the webinars, you'll have to complete the workbook, and then we'll provide you with a tailored report on your work. And depending on your needs, we'll do the customized workshops. We'll get to see these topics in more detail and talk more, do more exercises and so on. So it will be more interactive than today.
Okay. So maybe I can just share quickly the agenda for tomorrow. I'm sharing it, sorry, screen share. Okay, so tomorrow we will, because today we didn't have time for to talk about meta title, meta description, and about headers H1, H2. We will start with that tomorrow quickly, and then we will talk UI UX and the impact on your SEO. So we will talk page architecture optimization, URLs, links optimization for our pages, sitemap, technical aspect, and security of your website. And then we'll start introducing social media and with the base to improve your presence and usage to engage customer. So we will talk Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. So it will be the base, a more theory, and we will try to understand, you know, the algorithm of this social media, and what are the best practices. And this is this will be like a first step that we need to see all together before going deeper next month during the workshop that will be more practical. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joanna and Christina, and to all the companies that attended. We thank you for keeping time. I hope that tomorrow is a bit more engaged than today, but yeah, I think there was also a lot for the companies to take in, and I'm sure they'll come back tomorrow with a lot of questions. So yeah, I'm looking forward to part 2. Unless anybody else has a question. I don't know, Christina, do you have anything else to say, or should we?
No, I would just like to say that it's a lot of content, we know, but we want to give an overview of everything that's important. And then companies can have a look at this later on their own. We'll share all the materials, and I think like the best moment to learn will come when they like apply this into the workbook.
Right.
Yeah, and we are there to support you, to help you, to guide you. So don't be scared by all this content today and tomorrow. You know, because anyway, you will get the presentation. You need some time to process. The workbook will be it will be this tool that will help you you know, to go through all this content. And anyway, you all have websites, and we had the audit last year. You know what we are talking about here, and what we are trying to do now, it's like going deeper and really insisting on best practices that you should adopt. And everything we were talking about today is related to SEO. It's what we will improve your SEO, because SEO is a big work. It's not just working on pictures, like on the photo, or on text content or UX. No, it's a big work. It's all together. It take few months before sometimes even like a page is indexed by Google. But so this is why you need to implement all these best practices and understand how each element works. So yeah. So okay. So that's it for me today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, same time, and we'll continue everything. So yeah. So thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much. Yeah. And any question you have tomorrow, or any experience you want to share with any digital marketing tool, would be also nice to listen to.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.